And this is time now to welcome our another speaker. I would like to share with you that he is the one of the academicians who spent more than 3 decades for academic research and innovation. None other than Dr. Binu Prasad Sitalia, sir, the principal from Nepal DVMS and the country president of Nepal Eudoxia Research Council. So please give the big hand and welcome our Dr. Binu Prasad Sitalia, sir, to this platform for his presentation. We are all eagerly waiting for the presentation of our Dr. Sutalia, sir, from Nepal. I would like to share here 1 or 2 points about him because regarding our Dr. Binu Prasad Sutalia, sir is always coming with some beautiful slides. I really love that slides. I'd like to share with you. And very basic. Sir is always explaining very basic point, and researcher, those who are starting their research work also will understand our Dr. Binu Prasad Sitalia, sir. So without spending time, this is time to welcome our Binu Prasad Sitalia, sir, for his presentation. Very good evening from India, sir.
Good evening, sir, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to join once again with my dearest and nearest friend. Yes, today we have listened a very mind-blowing presentation by Dr. Carl Mayo. I learned many things from him, and from my side and from the citizen of Nepal, I want to thank him very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mayo, sir.
So may I request you, sir, for sharing the screen of your device?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You have shared the screen. Now you can click the full screen view, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. No, sir. It is you have zoom in. Please add to other. Yes. And now you can see here just nearby it. You have one screen option that is right side bottom. You can click that one. Right side bottom where you have task after zoom, sir. Zoom minus. There is an option of the screen. You just click there. It will be easier.
Is it visible, sir?
It is visible, but you can adopt the.
Okay. Now is it visible, sir?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Thank you very much, and good evening and greeting from Nepal. I am very much happy today because I am with you, with Dr. Ritua Saikia, sir, with Paticha ma'am, sir, with Rajesh Kannur, sir, and with a lot of so many my friends. And actually, the topics I have seen, the Zoom information and the topics I have given seems a little confused, a little difference. Anyway, an international webinar on literature review. I am going to present the topics in front of you. Isa sir.
Yes, sir. You can click the. Yeah, it is working. Yes.
Okay, sir. So our topic is literature review. Before going to the literature review, I want to make very clear about literature and review. What is literature and what is review? Actually, literature is a piece of writing of different authors of the researchers, and I have abstracted some etymological meaning of the literature. Actually, literature is an English word, and it is from Latin words, literatura and literatura. This means book learning or learning or writing grammar, originally writing form with letters. And it is also formed after litera. And litera also, it means alphabetical letter. Also an epistle writing documents, literature, grade books, science, and learning etc. When we talk about the literature, by 1860, it was known as the whole of the writing in a particular subject. But by 1895, it is known as printed matter and generally. Yes. Now let's come to know about the review. Review can be used. The word review is an English word. It can be used both as a noun and as a verb. If the review is used as a noun, it is a formal assignment of something with the intention or institution change if necessary. And there are different words which comes to the synonyms of review. That means analysis, evaluation, assignment, appraisal, and examine. Similarly, it has another definition as a noun also. A critical appraisal of a book, play, film, etc. published in a newspaper or magazine. And it has some similar meaning. We know it as a synonyms like criticism, critic, write-up, notice, assignment, evaluation. These are the words which deals about the review as a noun, and sometimes it can be used as a verb also. When it is used as a verb, it means access formally with the intention of institute change if necessary. And similarly, it has another definition also in as a verb. It means write a critical appraisal about a book or a play or a film etc. for publication in a newspaper or magazine. And it has some similar words, as we know, synonyms like discuss, evaluates, access, appraisal, and judge. Now, these are the two words, literature and review. I have given the etymological meaning of these two words. Now, I am coming to the points. I am coming to my business, that is the literature review. And this is my plan for the presentation. It deals among you how I am going to deal, how I am going to present the literature review in front of you. Actually, I have provided here some topics. First of all, I'll give the definition of literature review. Then I'll discuss about the importances of the literature review. Then I'll discuss about the qualities of a good literature review. What are the qualities or characteristics of a good literature review? Then I'll discuss about what are the sources for a good literature review. Then at last, I'll deliver how to write a literature review. Okay. If we talk about the literature review, it's a general meaning, general description. As I have already told, literature is a piece of writing by an author or the researchers. And literature review means whenever any researchers or whenever any authors read the literature of previously published and previously written in the different forms, and provides his own views upon it. This is known as the literature review. This is the simple meaning. A literature review is a survey of scholarly source on a specific topic. It provides an overview of current knowledge, allowing you to identify relevant theories, methods, and gaps in the existing research. Yes, I've already told. Literature review is made on the previously written or published articles. The authors or the researchers, first of all, will read that literature and forwarded its point of view on the different topics like the methods, methodologies, and its weakness and its strengths and it is implication to the society. These are the things that the researchers forwards according to his needs and according to his purposes. Here is the definition of the literature review. I have extracted this definition from E.H.M. Cooper, and according to him, a literature review uses as its database reports of primary or original scholarships and does not report new primary scholarship itself. The primary reports used in the literature may be verbal, but in the vast majority of cases, reports are written in documents. The types of the scholarship may be empirical, theoretical, critical, analytic, or methodological in nature. Second, a literature review seeks to describe, summarize, evaluates, clarify, or integrate the content of the primary reports. It was the definition given by H.M. Cooper. Similarly, I have extracted here some more definitions. A definition given by Queensland University, definition given by ANM, and the definition given by Toronto University. Among these three definitions, the third one, the definition given by Toronto University, is a little clear, and it makes clear to the researchers and any persons what is the literature, and get the clear-cut ideas. It is very simple also. A literature review is an account of what has been already established or published on the particular research topic by accredited scholars or researchers. Now, second, we come to the importances of literature review. What are the importances? Why we do the literature review? What is the necessary to have the literature review, or what are the advantages of literature review? That is just described in some slides over here. Some of the importances I have written in my slide are: the literature review formalize yourself with the current state's knowledge on your topic. Suppose any researchers want to do a research in the different topics, but before going forwards to his topics, he has to have the different literature review. He has to well read the different literatures and make its review, so that he is able to just get the specific ideas and specific knowledge on his own topic, and it will be easier for him to explore his research or dissertation in future. Similarly, the literature review ensure you are not just repeating what others have already done. Literature review means not to repeat what others people did in the past, but reading his articles, reading his literature, reading his dissertations, giving own point of view is the main objective of literature review. And next importance is it identifies gaps of the knowledge and unsolved problems that users can address. Similarly, to develop your theoretical and framework and methodology. Similarly, to provide an overview of the key findings of the database topics. And moreover, literature review provides a context for the research. It always identifies seminal works and scholars in the field. We know literature review acknowledges existing theories, points of views, hypotheses, and the field of research. Not only that, literature review justifies the research. It makes the clear of manuscript about previous research. Similarly, literature review ensures research has not been done before, and so where the research fits into the existing body of knowledge. Yes, it enables the researchers to learn from previous theory of the subject. Literature review always illustrates how the subjects had been previously studied in the past. Similarly, it highlights flaws and the previous research. Literature review always outlines gaps in the previous research, in which gaps the new researchers try to fulfill. It always shows the work in aiding the understanding and knowledge in the field. And similarly, literature review helps refine the topic, refocus the topic, even contribute to the evaluation. These are the some importances of literature reviews. Now we are coming to Now we are coming to the quality of good research. What are the qualities of good research? What type of research? Uh, uh, it's here is a mistake. Quality of good literature review, not a research. Quality of good literature review. What type of literature should be chosen so that a literature review can be made on it? The characteristics of good literature. It must strike a balance between source supporting and opposing the particular aspect of argument. It should be wide enough to cover the provide enough information required on the subject. It must be narrow enough to eliminate irrelevant information from your research. It must be conducted from reliable source. Students must give books and journals the first priority when doing literature review. In the event they are using articles written by other researchers, the article must be peer reviewed. Yes, this is the most important thing. When anyone want to have a literature review, he must try to source the article or the journals that is the peer reviewed, because peer reviewed journal is trusted and it is legible for everywhere. Then the writer must follow the stipulated formatting. It must lay a strong foundation, your research topic, how you conduct a literature review. Similarly, your literature review can throw abstract and introduction to check the mentions in a topic. It must evaluate the source of the relevance and the quality, noting that a long list of source does not necessarily translate to high quality to review. And as we talk about other characteristics and qualities of the literature review, they are: the sources must be relevant and authoritative. It should not be necessarily organized logically. Organizing literature based on weight of points presents gives its most weight. It must clearly address the research questions and the theoretical framework. It must identify studies and model that support the topics which the researchers want to do research in future. It should define the key terms, terminology, and definitions. It should also state the meaning of the different points. Now we are coming to the types of the literature review. Generally, there are different types of literature review, but I have mentioned here only 6 types of literature review. They are argumentative literature review, integrative literature review, historical literature review, systematic literature review, scoping literature review, narrative or traditional literature review. We are discussing on the different literature review mentioned over here. I am not going to tell you as a type. These are not only the types of the literature review. There are more than other types, but in our session, in my presentation, I am going to discuss only these 6 types of literature review. First, argumentative literature review. If we talk about the argumentative literature review, it examines literature selectively in order to support, to refute the agreement, deeply ingrained assumptions or philosophical problem already established in the literature. The purpose to develop a body of literature that establishes to certain point of view. Given the value-laden nature of some social science, argumentative approaches to analyze the literature can be legitimate, important from the discourse. However, note that they can also introduce problems of basis when they are used to make summary claims not to sort found in systematic reviews. Next, come to integrative review. This integrative review considered a form of research that reviews, critique and synthesize representative literature on a topic of integrated way, such as new frameworks and perspectives on the topic are generated. The body of literature include all studies that address related to identical hypothesis. A well-done integrative review meets the same standards as primary research as regard to clarity, rigor, and republication. Now the third one is historical review. Historical review, few things rest in the isolation from historical precedent. Historical review are focused on examining research throughout a period of time, often starting with the first time in issue, concept, theory, phenomena engaged on the literature, then tracing its evaluation within the scholarship of discipline. The purpose is to place research in a historical context to show similarity with date of the art developments and to identify the likely direction future research. Next, systematic literature review. If we talk about the systematic literature review, it is a form of context of an overview of existing evidence pertinent to a clearly formulated research questions, which uses pre-specified and standardized method to identify and clarity appraisal relevant research and to collect, report, analysis data from the studies that are included in review. Typically, it focuses on specific empirical questions, often posted in a cause and effect form, such as to what extent does A contribute to B? Now, next one is scoping literature review. A scoping review is quite similar to a systematic literature review. The key difference being that are no restrictions on the materials resourced. The purpose of the scoping view is to find all the materials on the topic. When undertaking a scoping review, it is important to systematize your research strategies to ensure you can replicate your research and attend to any gaps that appears the results. When reading and sorting the results, again, apply some of the measures used in the systematic review that your research results are sorted by key terms as well organized. And last, we are coming to narrative or traditional literature review. Traditional, it is known as the classical literature review also. Narrative or traditional literature reviews critique and summarize a body of literature about the thesis topic. The literature research from the relevant database and is generally very selective in the materials used. The criteria for literature selection for a narrative review is not always made open to the reader. These reviews are very useful in gathering and synthesizing the literature located. The principal purpose of narrative review is give another and the reader comprehensive overview to the topic and highlight significant areas of research. Narrative reviews can help to identify gaps of research and help to refine and define research questions. Where the narrative approach differs from the systematic approach in the notation of search methods criteria for selection. This can leave narrative reviews open and suggestion of bias. Now, next we are coming to the sources of literature review. Actually, there are two types of literature from where literature review is made. The first one is primary sources of literature on which the researcher make the literature review. And the second one is secondary literature on which the researchers made a literature review. Now let's discuss about the primary and secondary literatures. Primary resources contains first-hand information, meaning that you are reading the author's own account on a specific topic or even that he participated in. Examples of primary resources includes scholarly research articles, books, and the diaries. Primary research such as research articles often do not explain terminology and theoretical principles in detail. Thus, readers of primary scholarly research should have fundamental knowledge of the subject area. Use primary research to obtain a first-hand account to an actual event and identify original research done in a field. For many, your papers use the primary research will be requirement. And these are the examples of primary literature. They are original documents such as diaries, speeches, manuscripts, letters, interviews, records, then eyewitness accounts, and autobiographies. Similarly, empirical scholarly works such as research article, clinical reports, case studies, dissertations, and creative works such as poetry, music, video, and photography. These all are under the primary source of literature. And we are talking about the secondary sources. Secondary sources describe, summarize, or discuss information or details originally presented in another sources, meaning the author in most cases did not participate in the event. This type of source is written for a broad audience and will include definitions of the discipline, specific terms, history relating of the topic, significance theories and principles, and summaries, major studies, events are related to the topic. Use secondary sources to obtain overview of topic and identify primary resources. Define from the including such resource and annotated bibliography for doctoral level or unless there is a good reason. And so these are the examples of secondary sources. Publications such as textbooks, magazines, articles, books reviews, then commentaries, encyclopedia, and almanacs. These are the examples of the secondary sources of literature on which the researchers make a literature review. Now, we are coming to the main point, that is how to write the literature review. How to write literature review. And if we go through the Google and see the written of the different scholars, we may find that there are 5 steps, 7 steps, 10 steps writing the literature review. For your easiness, I have given here and trying to present over here only 3 phases of style of writing literature review: phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. 3 steps. It means 3 steps I try to explain over here. 3 steps or 3 phases. Phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. First, the phase 1. Phase 1 is it is the phase of collecting materials, reading materials, and making the note of the materials. This is the phase 1. Collecting materials, reading the materials, and making the note of the materials. This is the phase 1. This is the primary phase of writing literature review. And second phase is the main phase. This phase is known as the phase of writing review. When you are writing the literature review, you find that there may be 3 parts. The first part is known as the introduction part. The second part is known as the main body or main part of the literature review. And the third part is known as the conclusion. This is the second phase. Writing literature review is the second phase. And writing, it has also 3 parts: introduction part, main part, and conclusion part. And the third phase I have written over here, review the work done, or it is known as the revision also. Let's come from first phase. As I have already told that the first phase is the primary phase. This is very common phase. In this phase, the researchers at first collect the different materials, collect the different sources, collect the different matters. There may be he can collect the materials from his friends, from the library, from the market, from the export, from his supervisor, and from different places. He can collect the materials. This is known as the first phase and the first part of the first phase. After collecting the materials, the second stage is known as the reading materials. In this stage, the researchers has to well read the matter. I'm emphasizing is well read the matter. He has to read the matter once or twice or thrice or more than 3 times also. When he is reading, he try to remember some of the things that that he has to write in the separate papers that I have written here, making the note or note making of the materials. While he is writing the note of the literature he has read, he has to consider some of the things. He has to mention the author or the writer of the matters or the name of the researchers, publication year, publication name, its methodology, objectives, its weakness, its strengths and its weakness, that he has to write in a short point, making a short note. I have given here some more information. As you make notes, ask yourselves the following question about the text. What sort of text is it? What is the methodology? Is the particular approach or school followed? What are the definitions used? What is the theoretical basis? What evidence is used to back up the thesis? What are the conclusions? These are the things the researchers, after reading the materials, after reading the literature, he have to make a note or he have to write in a short sentences. Now, second phase is the phase of writing review. It is the most important phase. This phase, he has to use all the information he has written in the first phase is a note-making phase. In the note-making phase, he has he has written some sentence in a like a point, in a short point. So in a writing phase, he had to add all the points and make the full information. And this writing literature is also divided into 3 parts. The first part is known as introduction part. The second part is known as the main body, and the third part is known as conclusion. So what is in the introduction part? Your introduction should clearly explain the overall research topic and the depth of the information to be presented. It often also explains the types of source will be used. If your literature review is a part of the larger research proposal or the project, its introduction can be combined with the introduction of your paper. This is the way of writing introduction. Now in the main body, you have to establish your credibility as the informed researchers. You have to illustrate the importance of the particular problems in the field. Similarly, you have to identify the gap of the knowledge of the particular subject. And you do not forget to define key terms and ideas that are used in the particular field where you read your literature. Then you do not forget to explain research methods commonly used in the discipline, identifying potential problems with the possible research methods, directing the reader towards the research questions. Moreover, unlike the body of an essay or the research paper, the body of literature review is not intended to directly support the thesis. Unless this approach is specified, assigned, instead it provides the reader with the background information needed before moving into further study. of research. Generally speaking, the overall purpose of the literature review is establish a framework or further discussions. It presents its piece of literature using a kind, evidence, and the discussion, but explain general information rather than arguing, especially support of your thesis. Now we are coming to the conclusion point. What should be written in the conclusion point? It is also very important because this conclusion attacks your readers. This conclusion make your literature review good or bad. So you have to pay attention while writing the conclusion of your literature review. So depending on the purposes of your literature review, your conclusion may include the following. At least three. These 3 points must be included in your conclusion of the literature review. The first one is introduction to further research. This is the first point that should be addressed in the conclusion part of literature review. The conclusion of your literature review can be used to explain your intended research questions. This is the main thing you have to consider. Second thing, summary of the theories. Your conclusion can be summarized general theories and ideas that give your reader better understanding of the topic. And the third thing you have to write in the conclusion part is discussion of the gap. If your literature review has relieved a gap in general understanding, your conclusion can explain significance of the gap. Now we are coming in the third phase. This third phase is known as the review phase or the revision phase. This revision phase is also very important. While you finished your literature review, you have to read your literature review 1 or 2 times and try to find out what is missing over there or what is adding more than necessary over there. You try to find out. Sometimes you have to add some words or some sentence or some paragraphs in the review part or in the revision part. And sometimes you have to delete some of the sentence or some of the paragraphs. They are not necessary over there. And when you wrote the literature review, it may be that some grammatical mistakes, some punctuation mistakes, and so some other mistakes might be found over there. That should be cleared in the process of revision. That is also very necessary. Look at the topic sentence of each paragraph. If you were to read only this sentence, would you find that your paper presented a clear position, logically developed from the beginning to end? The topic sentence of each paragraph should indicate the main points of your literature review. You try to find out this. The next thing, you make an outline of each sections of the paper and decide whether you need to add some information or delete some information that is not necessary to write over there. You have to decide in the phase of revision. Read your work out aloud. That way you will better able to identify where you need punctuation marks or signal pauses or divisions within sentences, where you have to make grammatical errors, or even your sentences are unclear. Then you have to make it clear so that it would be easily understood by your reader. Make certain that all the citations and the references are correct and that are referencing in the appropriate style for the discipline. If you are uncertain with the style, then you can ask to your supervisor or you can consult to the experts. These are the things. And the last one, since the purpose of the literature review is to demonstrate that the writer is familiar with the important professional literature chosen subject, check to make certain that you have covered all the important up-to-date text in the sciences and some of the social science. It is important that your literature be quite recent. This is not so important in the humanities. So this is the thing we have to consider while writing the literature review. And if we follow these all steps, then so far as I know, we can easily write the literature review. So thank you very much, sir. And once again, I want to thank all the audience to be patient and to listen my presentation. Thank you very much.